We live, no days off. People deluded, I'm back again. I hope you're doing well and safe on this Saturday afternoon. I hope you're doing well and safe. While it's an afternoon on a Saturday, well, over here in the UK, good morning, good afternoon, good night, and all of those things depending on who you are and of course where you are. Please make sure you're hitting the like button better yet early doors, people. Let's get in the rhythm of that. As I said, I hope you're well and safe. Check out the pinned message in the live chat because obviously it's the last watch along of the season, people. It's Arsenal versus Brighton. I'm going live from 3 p.m. tomorrow. If you're not going to be there, hit the like button and check out my live reaction, which will follow, obviously, the watch along. The work don't stop, people. And obviously over pre-season, we're going to have a bunch of things to talk about. There's going to be a bunch of watch-alongs. I haven't got too much to speak about today, admittedly. You know, obviously, we're going to get into the Arteta thing. We're going to speak about Josh Kroenke and all of those sort of things. I'm sure you've all made your mind up on him. Don't get it twisted. Me the same. But it is what it is, people. You know, there isn't much more to talk about. Obviously, get your questions in and all of those things. Shout out to everybody locked in. Kay, I hope you're doing well and safe. Big up to you as well. You know, you've been in all the live streams every day this week. I appreciate that, man. The American Gunner, shout out to you, man. I'm good, my guy. I hope you're good as well, man. It's a relaxed day. Obviously, you lot can't see it, but prior to coming online, it's been Brentford versus Bournemouth in the playoffs, not the playoff finals, but to get there. And it's been a crazy game. Red card, penalty, missing tap-ins. I think, Brentford have made it 2-1. They were disallowed what I feel should have been 3-1. It's been a fantastic game for the neutrals, and the fans have really played their part. So a good game, if I'm completely honest with you. Obviously, Ivan Toney, I think he could have had a hat-trick today, and I can't pronounce the Brentford winger's name, but he mashes work. And Cursor, the commentator, as he's just lost it in the middle. But yeah, apart from that, I'm good, my guy. After that, I've got the Blackpool game recorded. So obviously, when I do my loan report, I want to be able to sit to talk sense in relation to Daniel Ballard, because I'm pretty sure he technically got an assist. So I'm good, my guy, man. I'm good, man. I'm good. What are you lot saying? I appreciate the people that are here. S is just saying people. Appreciative of the support nonetheless. Footy chat, hope you're good as well, man. So yeah, man, what Zane said, a fan advisory board would have no real power at this club or any club, because you've seen some other clubs announce it, but it's better than anything, really. And to be fair with you, obviously I would love more power to fans, but let's be real, it can be quite dangerous if fans have not a say, but like if they can actually move the dice at the club, it isn't going to work. It's not going to work on that. But what have you said? A fan advisory board would have no real power at this club. It would not solve the fundamental problems with the ownership at this football club and the structure they have in place. No, it wouldn't. Much like any other club. You're 100% spitting facts, man. I know there is some people that go to religious worship on Saturday, but you're giving the gospel on a Saturday when it should be on a Sunday. So shout out to you, Zane. 100% facts. We need more than that. And I'm going to get into it shortly, but, we're not even trying to do it like the rest and whatnot. So it's a bit mad in that regards. Claudius, I hope you're well and safe. And I'm good, man. I'm good. Emmanuel, shout out to you, man. I love to see the regulars, man. Shout out to the Twitch gang if you're out there as well. Can't forget about you guys. But yeah, man, just about to get into it, but I see a question. Abdi saying, do you think Hakimi to Arsenal is possible? Anything's possible if you put the money down, but do I think we're going to go for Hakimi if we bring in a right back? I don't think so. So hopefully that answers your question. Marmadou, I always see you in the live chats, as do I always see Mr. Adlib Big 23. Shout out to you. Herb, done though, my guy. As you said, KSE out, Stan Kroenke, Josh Kroenke, everybody out. Afternoon to you as well, Manny, man. I hope everybody's well and safe, man, as I said. And I hope you've all got the playoffs loaded, man. And yeah, man, it's a bit, as much as I cuss Arsenal and say I want the season to be over with and stuff, it is a bit of a sad one when you get to the end of the season, really and truly. I can't quite put my finger on it, but it is. Do not get it twisted, though. I am happy to see the back of this season. Whether it happens next season or not's another thing, but it is what it is. With that being said, though, people, a couple late ones, better late than never. Lateness is greatest. Liam, I appreciate you. Tim, you're always locked in. I appreciate you. Kay, Stan Kroenke out each and every time. Joshua, you're always here as well. And as is Mr. South London's finest, B, his name kills me, man. But as he said, smash the like button, man. Smash the like button. Brentford deserves to go up based on the last few seasons, bro. I think anybody that wins the final deserves to go up, man, because I can't lie to you, just like you've seen there, Ivan Toney's Mr. Sitter. Both teams have really been effing up. Brentford messed up in the first 5 minutes, and it's been a quick get back and stuff like that, man. Claudius is saying, Can't be running any promises anymore. Josh can't even run a bath. The trust is broken like a fasting Ramadan. I mean, shout out to all my acts as well, locked in. What a way of words that is, Claudius. And it is, well, it is. Promises are a comfort to a fool, as I was told growing up. You know, promises are as good as, you know, those who keep them. You know, obviously words are nothing. There are individuals that are about their word and follow through with what they say in life and things. But when you've got a track record of over promising and under delivering, it isn't gonna make anything. And for me personally, I just look at it as fundamentally, you could tell me you're gonna sign Messi and Mbappe and all these guys, you could probably do it. But and again, I don't feel someone should be made to pay for the sins of their father, but fundamentally your last name is Kroenke. So I'm under no illusions, whatever you say. I think where Josh and Stan are a bit different is, I think, don't get twisted, I think it's the belly of the same beast, without a doubt. I think they're just the same. I don't think his interests are in football. I do think he recognizes that in modern day, I don't think it's good enough, clearly, but I do think Josh recognizes in modern day you at least need some dialogue with the fans, and his dialogue has been atrocious. You know, his promises, you know, be excited, the trust process, all these things, whatever he said in the AST, it hasn't delivered 9 times out of 10. But I think where he's a bit different is that it seems like Stan doesn't care in it. You can say what you want, you can think what you think. I'm here in it. I don't think he cares as well, but at least you kind of see his face, and I think he recognizes that, and that might be how he leads his tenure. Because personally, I think unless Daniel Ek buys this club or a miracle happens, this is just going to be passed down into his family heirloom. Again, I am clued up on their other business dealings, but I'm not clued up on the sport. But I'm sure this guy sits as a chairman of, is it NBA or NFL, one of them, and that's his baby, isn't it? So again, Arsenal is at the mercy of them unless something can happen, people. As I said, make sure you hit the like button. Again, too much chatting's not enough slappings, as I said, people. Less talking, more doing, innit? I think people have sat here. Arsenal fans have been very patient with the word and the bullish talk, and some of us lap it up every year. You know, we've been told we're moving to Emirates to do this, financial this, we're trying to do this. You know, Arsenal fans have been patient with the verbal, but it's now time to back up your action, and arguably the words mean nothing, man. Please make sure you're running up the like button. My name's not DJ, my guy, so I don't know who that is. Troy has said YouTube notification gang failed me. People, this is why I tell you, look, get in the groove of 11:30 a.m. to now. Just check in my YouTube channel, Troy, man. And again, set in your reminders and the YouTube community tab. That will be your best friend, or my YouTube community tab, because YouTube, I don't know, Troy, they're enemies of progress. You know, I don't know what inkling was sent to you to come online and check my thing, but you can see, you know, YouTube is doing people dirty. Of all the views I get, I get more traffic comes via Twitter than YouTube, people. YouTube is at 2%. That means you are subscribed to me, but it's not letting you when these things are happening. You know, it's doing you dirty. So it is what it is, man. Brentford are going to bottle this game, bro. They're not finishing their dinner. I see it in the far corner still, but yeah, man, listen, less of that, more of this. Shout out to everybody locked in, man. YouTube tripping, man. It does people dirty. Trust me, man. Emmanuel, 100%. Just need to see action. Don't really care about having fans involved if they're doing their job rightly. And that's true. You don't need fans. Don't get twisted. I would like, you see, again, I'm not clued up enough to have the right things to tell you, but when you see what a couple of them German clubs have with the ownership, and if away from the ownership, just the dialogue with the supporters groups, things like that, I do think that's what the clubs can do. That's what clubs could do in England, could learn it to. So I do think there's a role, again, maybe not necessarily a fan sitting there and saying we need to sign this and that, but someone who speaks on behalf of, you know, a wider group of Arsenal fans, and that's a representative. And I know Spurs supporters have been going back and forth in relation to getting involved in the sort of structure. I think Chelsea actually have actually, you know, done the paperwork and doing what they're doing with that. And apparently Josh Kroenke has promised us our comfort to a fool, as I said, people. Likes, rates over 50%. Keep it up, guys. Big up Mikhail. I appreciate that. Get that one there in, man. But yeah, let me get into what we need to get into, what we're actually here for, people. Make sure you're running up the like button and things like that. Any word on Robbie and Mo? I've offered my opinion, you know, free Palestine each and every time, but in relation to Robbie and Mo, you gotta go to either side's channel, see what they're saying about it. I'm not apart from the message and free Palestine, I don't really care about what them and they're doing, you know. That don't bring that into my plate. I ain't got time for it, you know. Like I say, if man want to see those things, Go on the gossip pages and the YouTubers who try and move like Shade Borough, but them man there's problem. Neither pay me to comment, so I'm worrying about my thing. As I said, free Palestine each and every time. That's the one big message that needs to be reiterated. So yeah, man, you got to go somewhere else for them thing there, brother. But anyways, moving on and staying with what we've allegedly been told. Vinay and Josh Kroenke, have made an offer to improve relations with Arsenal fans. Well, what do you mean make an offer? Like, again, the wording of the title, shout out to Chris, need to get him on this show, but the wording of the title is one thing, but you need to, the manager, has been one thing I give Arteta from the moment he walked in. He said that needs to improve. That needs to improve. Even if you lot were sinister, you would recognize that you need to have better relationships, because at the end of the day, fans, we're not there week in. We already know why Arsenal is messing around and all of those things, but we're not there. You can tell us there's something. Arteta can tell us things are improving. Those that are in the club can see it. But as fans, to be fair, we can't care about that because we're not there. Two, it's not our job. Our job is to go to work, pay our bills, Saturday, whatever game, Sunday, see what we're saying, see if the talk pre-game matches up the in-game. That's the only thing that matters. So I don't really think you need to make an offer. I think you need to make a commitment to it, because I think that's the lead. That's all Arsenal fans want at the worst of it, beyond anything. Just some downright clarity as to what's happening with this club, and just for us to mean what we say and say what we mean. Is a simple thing. I don't think Arsenal fans, we'd love to be, well, you lot think we have a divine right to be in the Super League and elite competitions based on what you lot tried to do. But I don't think any Arsenal fan expects divine right to challenge for trophies and things like that. What we want is an ambition that you're trying to move to that. When we look at Arsenal, like with clubs even below us, clubs with less ambition, you can see what they're trying to do. You can see a way of what they're trying to do. You can see everybody singing from the same hymn sheet. Look at Leeds, with respect to Leeds, you can see what the owner and everybody from the manager is trying to do. Leicester, you can see it. West Ham, I don't quite think you can give it to them based on this season if you want. Arsenal, we don't know. We see little dribs and drabs. We see 5 positives, 10 negatives, 10 negatives, 5 positives. It's just, we're just constantly floating and we're sleepwalking into the abyss, as you not know. But apparently, Arsenal have put forward the idea of a new supporters advisory board to promote meaningful consultation with fans. Football London understands. Okay, that sounds good in terminology, but how is that any different from what you do with the AST? Shout out to the AST and everybody involved, but how is it any different in that you go there, they stick it on you, rightly so, and you lot just give half-arsed answers? You lot, take the heat as Vinay and Josh have done. What specifically is this new advisory board, and how is it different? Because you might set up a board, but it might be the same sitting down in the room chatting about things. So again, necessarily, I want this. I want this. Do I feel they necessarily need this to know what fans make of things? I don't know. You'd have to ask them people, but I think we all know the answer. Apparently, the proposal comes as supporters are set to gather again to protest against the club's owners, Stan and Josh, when they return to the Emirates Stadium for the first game against Brighton on Sunday. Shout out to all the fans involved in the protest. But it's a bit, exactly, it's time. It's hit the like button, people. There's over 200 of you. Do you not think that it's pretty coincidental that, in the last week or two, we're hearing commitment to chatting to fans now and improving dialogue and things? We've heard many transfer rumours, a lot of bullish talk coming out from Arsenal, even down to the mouthpieces, the people that work in the journalists. All of this is coming out in the midst of, protests, season tickets, new kits, all of these things there. So again, less chatting, more slapping. Just go and if you want Odegaard, go and sort it out. If the Odegaard thing don't work, bring someone else in. All I care about is that you do stuff in the transfer window. Everything else is fundamental. Is secondary, because if you don't improve the squad, then what's that saying they say? It's his definition of insanity is doing the same thing again and again and expecting something different. When you be incompetent in the board, and you take forever to bring in Partey, giving him less of a pre-season, when you have no structure from a managerial point of view for how you're going to use that player and the actual partner to excel him in midfield, how can I expect improvement at this club? You can see incompetence from the owner to the people just below him, so on and so forth, down to Arteta. Arteta has made a lot of issues at this club. Some of the times, I think there's a lot of variables that are not in his control, but there's numerous problems that are self-inflicted. And I feel from a tactical point of view, a lot of them is not down to us not having better players. It is, but you're just not getting a lot out of them. You haven't surrounded Arteta with experience and people to push him, so he's left to his own devices. Edu, again, Need to see what you're on in the window, home devices. You just get the point, the thing that anyone in any position, they're just left to their own devices. And for me, that's cool, provided there's one long-term thinking or thesis of what we're trying to do as a football club, and you don't get it. You know, you get the vibe that everybody's trying different things. And we've had about three different managers, now including Arteta and including Arsene Wenger, sandwiched in between Emre. We've had Glazides, Michelin, Tai, all of these sort of guys. And yeah, they've all had their problems and stuff. And Raul Sanye, they've all had different periods here. The one variable has been the owner. If the owner wants to be a winner, everything else falls into place like with other clubs. But moving on, people, relations between the KSE and the Gunners fans are perhaps at an all-time low after the Americans' decision to sign the club up to European Super League without any prior consultation. I would say that's just the tipping of the iceberg. Brentford have just scored his 3-1. The goal's been finally allowed. Come on, Brentford. But moving forward, people, as I was saying, they're at a low already because of the lies we're being told. I'm not saying Chelsea or Man City's owners are perfect, but why do you think them and they are kind of cool with them? You know, them and they are all right with them. They say, yeah, you made a mistake, slap you on the wrist, pattern up. Because again, rightly or wrongly, you can say what you want. They're trying to be winners. They're keeping the fans cushy. When you're lying to us, making us pay through the nose, you know, inconsistently consistent, you know, all the failings that have been with Arsenal, that Super League thing, on top of it being wrong in isolation, it's just the tipping of the iceberg. So I think I don't even think it had any difference on relations with the owners. I just think it brought them into light for who they are. Money grabbers, want to grab things without actually earning it. And for us, it was just a cheap sort of route out of our financial issues because we've been failing in the league and whatnot and not been in the Champions League. It was a cheap route to always be in a competition. And that was the shortcut. And that's what got highlighted. Kroenke likes to take shortcuts. You know, very mediocre culture. You know, there's no coincidence with this sort of stuff. So yeah, and now in an attempt to seek to improve things, a new setup was suggested at the Arsenal Fans Forum, which took place on Friday afternoon and was attended by Josh and the club's chief executive, Vinay Ventekesham. Apologies for mispronunciation. So I might click on that link and see what gets thrown up. But again, it's good in principle, but there's nothing concrete. It's a suggestion. And again, if it was put in, what's going to be any different from the once a year, twice a year, quarterly thing you already do with Arsenal fans, where you just sell dreams and not answer questions properly? I don't know. You'd have to answer that. The proposal is for a new advisory board to be set up in an attempt to create better dialogue between Arsenal board and the fans. You lot need to make a commitment to improve dialogue, because what happens when you lot give the fans whoever's on the advisory board, you give them half-hearted answers. They're going to come to us and give us half-hearted answers. Because they're literally, it's on a shoot the messenger thing, because they're relaying what you said. So this it sounds good in principle. When you break it down to the nuts and bolts of things, it's not making much sense, people, really and truly, to me. And again, it's just a suggestion. You know, they suggest hella things. Whether they do, it's another thing. The advisory board would be made up of members from the Arsenal Supporters Trust, AST, the Arsenal Independent Supporters Association, a member from one of the club's world supporter groups, a former male player, and a former female player, Football London understands. So that's great. You know, that would be amazing, but it's an advisory board. They don't make any changes. You have to commit to make the changes, you know, really and truly. Because again, there actually is a world to exist where there isn't a need for an advisory board, where in a world where these little fortnightly talks you give to the AST, that could suffice, as long as we saw the intention to be a better football club, running the processes correctly, and all the negatives, in short, being positives, and all the things we have been talking about, you know, just in short, just being reactive across all aspects. There wouldn't be a need for this. So you can set up as many advisory boards, supporters trust, bring in Alex Scott, this one, that one, you know, which again, that would be good. They don't make any decisions, and they're going to be as baffled and as disillusioned as us, because essentially they're just fans. They're just elevated, and it's down to you lot to want to make that change, people. When asked about the possibility of fan representation on the board, Kroenke and Vinay stated that it was something they would think about, but failed to offer any commitment to the idea. So that's what it is. It's like when you just promise people things when you're just happy. That's what they're on. Apparently, the proposal is said to be different from the steps taken by Chelsea and Liverpool in recent weeks to increase their respective boards' consultation with supporters. When asked about any similarities between Arsenal's proposal and those of the Big Six sides, he said, "We're not looking at different clubs. We do things the other way." I think that could be said among everything, really and truly, people. When asked if the ESL could happen again, it was stated in the meeting that no one would be stupid enough to bring back such a proposal. Yeah, okay, maybe not that proposal in exactly things, but I'm sure there's someone out there, or you lot on the back burners, because you lot knew that the fallout and everything that was going to happen with the Super League. I'm sure you lot have a little bit of, you know, kept up to date in terms of updates, in terms of little tweaks they could make to that, because it will be maybe 10 years, 20, there'll be a next thing. The Champions League isn't perfect. It needs its own revamp, and things will happen, people. So there's no exact commitment. There's no exact formula. There's no plan in motion. It's just words, much like what we hear with our transfer stuff. So we haven't learned anything new in that regards. Let me click this in the hope that, well, no, well, yeah, people, there you have it. I thought there would have been, you know, more of a sort of pressure in relation to more that timeline, or some pressure in relation to his fan forum, but clearly there must not be anything, people. So that's that, man. Please make sure you're hitting the like button, people. On that note, we need to hear a quick message from our sponsors, and then we'll get back into it. Shout out everybody locked in. I appreciate all the support. Obviously, if you want to look and purchase what you just saw, link is in the live chat. Link is also in my description. Link will also be in the timestamps at the end of this, people. So yeah, man. What are you lot? Before we get into the rest of it, what is you lot's thoughts on Josh Kroenke's promise, or what we've just read and things like that? Let me actually make sure I've titled the timestamp. You know, it's all fun and games having the minutes, but you don't know the hell you're talking about. Man said, "Buckle up for the championship, everyone." I don't quite think it will get to that. You know, we beat relegation this year, so it is what it is, man. South London's finest has said, "What's stopping the advisory board being a bunch of yes men and women?" And that's another scary thing, is that we know with this club, you know, where it's our former legends and things like that, you know, that get paychecks from the club and things like that. We know that none of them push the boat out in it. None of them push the boat out in that regards. None of them sort of force it. So again, there's also that, and that's a point that went over my head, and a great point. It's like, again, you'd imagine to some degree these lot could be self-selected out of the AST and things like that. So that's a great comment, man. When you get in the trim, hope you're well, bro. I'm good, my guy. You know, what you saying? Your girl's getting bored of seeing me on the greasy thing. What can I say, man? I'm working hard. I ain't had time for a haircut, you know. But I still trim her down if she wants. Moving forward, though, I hope you're good. S has said, all waffle, in my opinion, saving his dad's bacon, 100%. You know, as I've been saying, I think his dad throws him to the wind, man. His dad's heartless. He knew with the Super League thing, you know, he knew what was going to happen. He said, son, go hold it up. You're going to take over this one day. These are the things you're going to have to do. Vinay, at the end of the day, rightly or wrongly, whether he's just a puppet or not, he was thrown into the forefront. You know, the manager, Arteta, who's whatever you've got to say about him, has had to deal with a lot that some experienced managers don't get and whatnot. He had to deflect and dip and dive with the questions and somewhat save face on behalf of the club. So I also, you know, for me, he might be talking the truth. Not to say I'm backing him, it's just another variable, but I can't believe you, because you know, the currency ain't strong enough. The words might be good, but the currency from where it's coming from, it's not strong enough. The exchange rate where I'm from ain't good enough, in my humble opinion, man. It is well, it is in that regards, man. Ek by Arsenal, no Kroenke, 100%, man, 100%. I would love him to. Please stop spamming my dude, you know, because it's a madness. I'm not sure of that. Ray Parlour is an example. You know, to be fair, Ray Parlour speaks out about the club, but you see it, you know, and I get it. People have to get paid. People have to pay their bills. No one's going to do it for them. But, you know, they play both sides well. They kind of indirectly are on the Kroenke out thing, in want of better words, and they're kind of distancing from it. So again, you'd imagine they're the sort of man that are going to get grabbed for it. And the ones that don't are going to get rubbed out. It's like Perry Groves. I swear he used to do the Arsenal.com thing. The minute he started freeing the realness about the club and that, stop getting all the tactical reviews and all them other things. And you get it. You look at the people now, some of them are not yes men, but they're there in it. You know, the only one I give credit to is Ian Wright, because, you know, he's got a contract with Arsenal, I assume, to some degree, whether that's to merchandise something or what. And I'm sure, you know, there's a bunch of people he can and can't work with, things he can and can't say. And I'm pretty sure tweeting or saying Kroenke out is one of them, but he took the slap on the wrist. End of the day, it's Ian Wright in it. So it's a techie one still. And that's a great point that you lot are saying, man. When it's the point of saving the bacon and, you know, they could just place agents in there, you know. There could be random Joe Blogs that don't know nothing about Arsenal. Somehow they shag him as a member of the AST and they just randomly say, yo, boom, you're the guy. You know, I don't know. Would they let AST... Would they say, boom, all right, cool, we're bringing a member of the AST, you lot go deliberate and you lot vote someone, elect someone to be this thing, then we could say, cool, there might be some credibility. Or would they just randomly, you know, not the guys that were pressuring them at the fans, will it be an actor? You know, when you see riots and stuff, people always say there's actors involved, you know, you can't put nothing past no one, man. True Sayer said, advisory board, just another layer with Richard Garlick to shield Kroenke and Son. Can't disagree with what a lot of you lot are saying, man. Really can't. Big up AM and all the members. Owner don't need to do ish for fans. They don't have to be there. Just patting the club for success, man. Don't care about the Kroenkes talking. Trust me, because for me, if I looked at it and I was Kroenke, I'm not saying I want an owner that doesn't care about football. But for me, you don't care about you don't care about it from a business point of view enough, or you wouldn't see the many fallouts and the many things we talk about on this channel with you guys consistently, man. You know, it's what it is. Oh, I don't know why people watching me, man. They need to watch their girl and watch who they're texting, but it is what it is, man. Moving forward, big up yourself, Lucas. Oh, Lucas, you got rubbed out there. Shout out to you, Lucas. Aka said, just look at El Nene sick or Ozil sick. What does that mean? You're going to have to... Oh, I know what you mean. I know what you're talking about. Arsenal don't like the realness being freed, and it's true. It's absolutely true. It's absolutely true. And that's the problem, man. Hey, Ed, allow it, man. I don't know about United, brother. I don't know about United, brother. 120 likes, over 280 of us in here. Make the necessary changes, people. 100% make them changes, man. Where are we at in terms of likes before any other chatting continues? Must can bag a 200 real quick. 127. We must can grab 200 quickly, people. We're acting. Hope you're good. Sup, bro? Marshall, you're a Liverpool fan. What have you said? Do you think making top 4 is a big achievement given our injuries? Yeah, if you make it, you know, you saved face. Don't get twisted. It's a terrible season in terms of retaining the title. It's probably a poor season from a lot of personal points of views for a lot of those players, bar probably Mo Salah's had a great season. But you've been dealt a shorthand and you've done what you've needed to do. So, yeah, man, you know, it could be worse. If you watch the Amazon NFL documentary, they are clueless about running the LA Rams, let alone football. For them, is probs super confusing. Dominic, shout out to you. And I need to watch that. You know, I'm going to make a note of that. Is it, you know, Amazon Prime like to make things you got to pay for. That's got to be the free thing, innit? Knowing these, like, it won't be. But I think that's something I would watch because that's what I would love to. Nobody's come here and told me ever, while people have said they care more about this other sport or that other sport, none of them has really said, yo, they're 30 when it comes to NFL or this or that, where you could kind of get into their minds and see how they ran things if they did care. You don't. You just kind of see underperformance and inconsistencies and just dictatorship, really and truly. You know, I'm not saying anything new. Josh promises Arsenal be relegated soon, bro. It's what it is. That's what, you know. Who knows, man? Who knows? Controlled possession. They don't want to lose out on their perks from Arsenal. That's true as well. But I also think it's very easy to sit there and say, why aren't you talking about it? Because I get it. At one time, I want everybody to speak, but I get it. The problem I have is, especially with away from this, a lot of causes, like obviously Palestine being one of those, not the organization, but the message in Black Lives Matter and things like this, and just people getting rubbed out for things. You know, I've had it with myself. Man will sit there, guys will banter you, will be getting onto you on the socials, but then they'll try and bread you in the public, or people won't back it or say anything. But in the public, in the private, they're like, yo, that's bad, man. That's this and that. It's the belly of the beast. It's the nature of the beast. I don't like it. I don't condone it. But unfortunately, it is what it is, man. Stop the spamming, though, people. You're stopping me from seeing everything. Dominic has said, I think Josh is clueless and just tries to implement stuff he hears from the public but doesn't do it correctly. I think he's a bit more empathetic and sympathetic and a bit more human than his dad. But then I just think that's because he's a bit younger. He knows that modern day, you know, whether it's social media, whether it's the media, fans and football clubs, the dialogue is, you know, the lines are blurred. The communication channels are closer than it's ever been before. And I think he recognizes that ahead of his dad. And rightly or wrongly, I think that's where he's better than his dad. But again, I have to, you know, I don't think this is Disney Channel where it's like, don't paint me for the sins of my father. I'm here. I want Arsenal to be good. I just think he knows what's what, and he's just getting himself, he's getting his feet and his claws in and doing what he needs to do, people. I can't trust none of them, man. This is not for legacy gooners who have heard all of this before. They're aiming this at the new gullible gooners, so they keep overfunding KSC without any return. It's all about money. Can't disagree, man. Matthew with an even more important message than that: free Palestine. Who said Brentford are bottling? No, they're not. They did their thing. Liam has said, shout to all the members and shout to Liam because you're always giving man support and whatnot. You said they're just giving the fans something to shut them up. 100. Andrew is saying, our board moves mad and take no accountability because they supply the money. Disillusioned 100%. Big up DG. So we're all in agreement, man, you know. We're all in agreement. It's a bit unfortunate. Sandro, the game's done. I just see this message, man. Shout out to Brentford. Again, maybe they can take a couple young players, you know. Reece Nelson, you want to go there on loan, brother, next year? Why not? Let's get that one done. You lot got some piece ready in Ketia. I know you're probably going to lose Ivan Toney, saying that. You probably won't now because he got promoted and people are going to want to see what he's about, man. Jonas said, man is talking crap, lads. They have no interest in Arsenal. Check where the money for Stan's new ranch came from. Yep, Arsenal Holdings. That's where. Please don't buy the kit. Stop going. I'm hitting the light now, DG. I appreciate that. Josh is popping around with a bunch of flowers and chocolate. Yeah, 100%. O says lip service with no real ambition or goals. It's a shame it's a shame. Sorry, what's happened to this club. And also on top of that, you know, the latest one on top of all the bullish talk is that Edu and Arteta, they've drawn up their battle ranks, they've drawn up their targets, and they've handed it to the directors in all of this. Again, seeing's believing. I'm tired of hearing bullish talk and then under delivering. I'd just rather you say, listen, there's a couple players out on loan. Some are gonna take longer or be harder to move on than others. But I don't expect you to tell me who is coming in, who's been brought out, and just say the reality. We've got to make decisions over those on loan. We're trying to move some on. You know, these little things just make the biggest difference, really and truly. Big up my man DG. Hope you're well. Content time of the year, DG. The rest, I appreciate that. Big up Blackpool and Daniel Ballard, man. You know, that man is a unit. Shout out to them. You ain't missed anything unless you care about Josh actually promising or changing anything. You know, is what it is. Shout out to the Trinidad viewers and whatnot. Appreciate that, man. I appreciate all of that. You know, you make sure you've got to set your reminders on my page. I don't know why YouTube does you dirty. Like my man said, YouTube be tripping, wasn't receiving them notifications. Exactly. Don't rely on them. They do man dirty. Big up live from Planet X. You're always locked in. Exactly. Brentford still got to win the playoff. Apologies. Yeah, man. I'm talking too soon because they have you can tell I'm supporting them for this. YGK, I've already said, bro, I've offered my opinions, my brief opinions on that. I've got nothing to say on Robbie and Mo. I'm neither one's dad. I'm neither related to none of them. They're not my guy. Shout out to Robbie. You get it. So it's for them to answer, and for them, I'm here to speak about Arsenal. You know, once again, free Palestine. Squeeze those likes off. Come on, man. Yeah, I don't. That's what I said. I don't know. That's what I said. I don't know what they're doing. You said, DG, I disagree. They invest heavy in a hard salary cap league in NFL. Fair play. But again, that's probably where we see their real intentions and their real love child. And again, either way we look at it, Arsenal is just a means to an end for them. You know, it's just a banker, it's just a collateral. It just is what it is, man. He struck gold. He was one of the first one of them that went and looked and said, you know what, this is going to be a gold mine. He went and done it. It's unfortunate that he's just putting powers for evil, but it is what it is, man. LA Rams are like Arsenal without the history. They're a mess. Sliding in unnoticed, forever late. Terry, better late than never. Neuhaus 40 million release clause, apparently. Would you do it, DG? Much like Arsenal, I'm actually a cheapskate. So I'll be trying to bargain for a 32, 35, 37.5, trying to do something in it, trying to say cool. And even if they want the 40 mil, I'm trying to do these little incentives and things like that. But Neuhaus is a baller. So if you're asking me, would I want Neuhaus at Arsenal Football Club if it could be done? Some things don't need to be explained, but yes. AFC will never do what the fans want. How long are y'all willing to take this BS? I don't think anyone wants to take it anymore, but no one can force them to sell, man. The protests do absolutely nothing. Arteta likes the owners, says Paul. Unfortunate, man. It's unfortunate. Max Aaron's wiki page, his current team is Arsenal FC. Well, you always get fans on Wikipedia doing foolishness. When I see Sky Sports say we've signed Max Aaron's or a right back, it would be calm, man. Don't get why there's 300 plus people watching, but only 180 likes. Smash the like button. It should be 300 likes. You're fortunate on that. You think Ivan Toney is Arsenal quality? I don't think we've reflected what historically Arsenal quality is. If you're asking me, do I think he's good enough to play for Arsenal? Why not? I probably wouldn't make a move for him because I like him. I like the runs he makes. I just think, we've got a team where we've got a striker who's service reliant in Aubameyang. Ivan Toney's not going to create too many of his own goals, not going to do too many bits of magic by himself. I know he has done it. So what's the point? And I also feel, just for me personally, I just don't think he's involved in the game enough for me anyway. So it is what it is, man. But if he shows next year and 18 months that he's Premier League 30, why not, man? And, you'd imagine he'd be playing Premier League football next year, whether it's at Brentford or somewhere else. Who takes a chance on him? I don't know, though. If you ask me, all billionaires are the same, all want to make more money. That's what got them there. Well, to be fair, what's wrong with making more money? I want to make more money. You want to make more money. Who doesn't want to make more money? It's just when that's your only thing. You don't think Leicester's owner, Chelsea owner, all these guys, City, they don't want to make bucks. Of course they do. It's just they understand what needs to be done. They want to achieve greatness. When you only want to make money, that's the problem. I don't care if you want to make money, I would love to see it. You man are billionaires. There's nothing wrong with making money. Like, just make sure you care about the club, in which they don't. 420 people. I appreciate the engagement. It's crazy, people, but make sure that's correlating to the like button. Also, check out the live chat pin message, people, because it's watch along business after this tomorrow, last one of the season. Let me drop the link in here for you lot. The Bayern Munich one. He ain't played too much this season. I do like him, though. He has got a mistake in him, though. Kroenke needs to go first. The owner is the problem for me. That's it. Everything else will click into place if the owner goes, personally. Arsenal is Kroenke's most successful sporting club franchise. I'm not surprised they don't want to sell. Neither am I. Who is Arsenal's number one target this season, bro? I don't speak to Stan Kroenke, Edu, or Mikel Arteta, so I don't know. If anyone in this live chat is able to get them on speed dial, please, because I'd love to know. I'd love to know who's Arsenal's first choice target this season as well. Based on what we've heard in the media, today it seems to be Buendia. Before it was Basuma. Now we're here in Arsenal and not that keen on Basuma. He's not as high up the list. So who knows, man? Who knows? It's their residual income, something like that. Unfortunately, man. EGTV says 2019. They said Sky Sports said Arsenal fans be patient with Kroenke. Still waiting. Boy, is where it is. Vince McMahon cussed out Kroenke for his business acumen in a live interview. When you're taking shots from Vince, you know it's time to have a hard look at yourself. J3, boy. Liam said, well, go on with this Europa Conference League thing. Boy, it is what it is. It's the third tier of Europa League football. We deserve to be in it, because we've been underperforming. If we get into it, from a pride point of view, of course, you don't want to be involved in it. But, where's the chances for the young players going to come? Where's the chances primarily come of recent? Suddenly you strip that out. They're not there. While I don't want to be in it, I think you need to be in it. And I would like us to be in it as a constant reminder of failure. I want these players to hate playing in it, to hate every time it comes up, and remind themselves that underperforming, the fear of failure lasts forever, and a coward dies 1,000 deaths. Feel it. When you're playing at 4:30, you thought Europa League was bad in terms of kickoffs and quality of pitches. You wait. This is what you get. Because some of you have actually been in here. A handful of you were here when we was in the Champions League. Hopefully that same handful are gone, but you get the point. If you're struggling for notifications, as Sia said, Twitch, the Ludicuna 187 on Twitch, they actually notify you lot. Will Josh invest in this club this summer? Well, it's his dad's business, and unless he does, boy. To be fair, the recruitment has been poor, which may be a factor as why they are stingy to give more money. But then surely you clip people, you know. Some, are they sitting there and saying, yo, we spent money on Renison, whether it's a penny or a million, who sanctioned that? We spent a loan fee on Odegaard and Ceballos. I'm not saying they're the same. What did we get? Are they sitting there and saying, okay, cool. And like I said, they didn't bring that partner for Partey, but Partey hasn't had an amazing season. Why is that, Arteta? Why is there enough injuries? Forgive me if I'm ignorant to the matter, but we didn't hear Partey was injured all this time at Atletico. Why are these things happening now? You brought in Willian. Why have him and Alisson got the same amount of Premier League goals? Again, you get it. We know that. That's the double whammy, but I can't see that as a reason. I can see it logically, obviously, Josh, if you're giving me money and I'm telling you I'm signing good players and I'm signing nonsense, you're obviously not going to give me more money. But then I say, okay, cool, you clip, man, then get people with a better track record. You fundamentally don't know what you want. So can you really be surprised when they're doing nonsense, really and truly? But you're also correct, because that's where we have the double whammy. That's where, for me, it comes from the owner in that. As much as I say we're underinvested in these things, when you look at the money we're being spent, Lacazette, Granit Xhaka, Pepe, if not big money transfers, Willian, big contract, loan fees and whatnot, there has been money there, money mismanaged, that's the double whammy. Is the people involved haven't been getting top fees for players, haven't been doing better things in that regards. Only an Arsenal Football Club would see a grand total of 0 pennies for Alexis Sanchez and Aaron Ramsey. That's 100 million, 60 and 40 a piece. I don't care how you want to put it. Nonsense. And then it became more expensive when you didn't sell him to City, whether it was for wages or not. Then obviously he wanted to go United. You tried to come here and save face and say, oh, Mkhitaryan is calm. We got a player. We all know, with respect to Mkhitaryan, that both parties got an expensive deal. That's the most expensive free transfer in Premier League history I've seen between Mkhitaryan and Alexis. We sure as hell weren't too keen on Mkhitaryan. They thought Alexis was going to bang. I think Mkhitaryan was a better player for us in the same time. But I'm always going to say that, really and truly, But ultimately, everything comes from the top. You either say, all right, cool, I gave you 40 million. You didn't show me something. When I give you this next 40, if you don't show me something, you got to come for a meeting. Or you say, do you know what? I've given you too much money. There's been problems. But then I flip it on its head and I say, there's been Glizzy, there's been Mislintat, there's been Raul, there's been Edu, there's been Arteta, there's been Unai, there's been Wenger. And the same underperformance has been, there's not been too many signings that bang for us. I'm not saying every Premier League signing needs to hit the ground running. Fabinho didn't. People writ off Fabinho. Now he's the best thing since sliced bread. No disrespect, because Fabinho's a baller. You do need to give time. But why is it none of our signings bang straight away? Or when they bang, they start moving robbed, like Gabriel. They hit a point where it starts moving mad, or even Partey, or we have to persist. I think it's going to sound stupid, but it's because we sign good players. We don't sign good players for the system. We go for players that are having a standout season. Then we look at the feasibility. I'm happy with Pepe and Gabriel. Don't get twisted, but we got fleeced for Pepe, but Pepe's club are open to selling. Partey has a release clause. These players, if there are other clubs where there's more upfront money needed, it's a problem. Pepe or Zaha, if it could have been done, maybe they would have brought in Zaha. Palace said, F that, you've got to give us this. Half the players, excluding those ones because they're a bit different, half the players we're signing, they've got one foot out the door, where that can serve you right. As long as there's balance, that can be a good system. There's been many players that look like castaways at clubs. We've seen them go somewhere and they're banging. But for us, it's always, like I said, man, it's like when you go, it's them 99p games in the game store, or it's like when you go Sainsbury's or Tesco's or Asda and they've got that get them before they're gone, where things are going out of date today and you could get it like, you get it. Half the people we're linked with, how many players have come into this team where at the end of their career, or you never quite get the vibe. And also what scares me about this football club, don't get twisted, half of these players need to go. But I've said it before, and I've actually clipped it up to bring it out later on YouTube. I'm going to spam you lot later with hella videos cut up from previous live streams, FYI. listen, we all want Willian gone in it, and I'm not gonna cry about it. But you know, I have for me, anyways, just for me, fans, people, please make sure you're hitting the like button. I find it there's a big difference in Willian saying I want to leave or Arsenal saying I want to leave. David Luiz the same. Rightly or wrongly, you know, it's like David Luiz has said, "Oh, lads, you know what? I've had the season to think about it. I'm at the age now, I'm going to move on." Or William's gone, you know, I've not had a good season, I'm going to move on. It's not been, okay, Louise, we might let you stay because you're good with the young G's, but if you ain't giving us this decision by this date, we're moving on. Even the club should be moving on regardless, with respect to Louise, because he's not got too much years left in his legs. William, the same. When I look at these teams, you know, Leno, Xhaka, Bellerin, just throwing these names out because they're linked with moves away. Do you want to move them on, or did they want to move on? Because I actually think it's a bit of both. And what scares me is that 9 times out of 10, these names I've just said, they're the lieutenants of Arteta. They're the guys he's put his faith in. They're the guys he's kind of riding with. They're the guys he's kind of riding for. And it's almost like it's a, let me save myself. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's like, let me get out of this now. It's a madness. And we've got too many players like that, whether it's through contract length or just when we're playing well, yeah, I'm staying here or I'm gone. And this is what I mean by this summer, big decisions have to be made. Some of these decisions might be the right or wrong, but we can't have players that look like they're leaving now until the window officially opens or whenever, and then they stay, or players that look like they're staying and then they go. A bit of that happens naturally, but we need to make decisions. And I'd imagine, you know, Arteta has made his decisions up on players. You know, when, you know, I'm pretty sure he knows if he thinks Joe Willock, Guendouzi, this guy, that guy are good players. Really and truly. I know he's made his mind up. He's not going to walk there in August and think and say, yeah, I don't want you, I want you. He's already made his mind up on a lot of these players, so you're not going to see much in that regards, people. This is what scares me, and this is why I say less talk, more action. More work needs to be done in a tenfold, personally. So we'll see what happens in that regards, people. Let me make this 23-10. I think the last 15 minutes or something, we've had some decent talking points, so let me make that a timestamp. I need action, not words. Shout out to everybody locked in on this Friday Saturday afternoon. Is appreciative, people. Really is, you know, really is, because you lot could be doing better things, or maybe you lot recognize that the league is ending soon, and these things might stop for a hot sec. But what else are you lot saying, people? Facts. Tierney's been a good signing. Yeah, bro, there's been couple good signings, but the thing is, for every Tierney, there's been bare shit, man. Like for every Gabriel. Even off the last couple of times signing the centre half, to get in Gabriel, let's say, cool, boom, Gabriel's right, yeah? Let's exclude Saliba and Marie. You can if you want. But for every Gabriel, we've gone with a hit and miss in David Luiz. You all saw what Mustafi was. You all saw what Socrates was on. You know, shout out to Callum Chambers. He's doing his thing. But he's been a bit hit and miss. Holding's been a bit hit and miss. They're doing their thing now. Do you get it? Do you get it? For every Kieran Tierney, again, how many times have we've been begging for a left back? How many times have we got that right? You know, do you get it? So there has been, naturally, you sign 100 players, you are going to get 10 that are good, you know. But this is the problem. When you do strike gold, you're not building, you know, you're not building on it. You're fair. You've got a left-sided centre half in Gabriel. You've got a young Saliba. For me, you bring in a middle centre. You need to bring in a middle centre half to carry things. You know, you look at a right back. You know, again, nobody's asking for world-class players. People, when you bring in better players, just make sure you're marrying them. And that's the thing with Arsenal, in that they show you enough to make you think, all right, something's going on, and then they pull it away. You know, we make 2 steps forward and then 3 steps back, and then the next just 2 steps forward. So it ultimately becomes the illusion of choice. You know, is what it is. I don't think anybody said every signing is going to be a legend. That's a very dense way of looking at things. Fair play. You're all right, though, Kevin. Kieran Tierney is going to be a good player, or has been a good player. And again, whatever way we look at it, you know, we haven't spent money right, even in the positive one. So, yeah, big up everyone jumped in and things like that, man. We're going to get into the Arteta issues and whatnot in a bit, man. It's not pinned. That's a shag. Because I'm in the YouTube live thing now, and it says it is pinned. But nonetheless, let me pin it again. Apologies quickly, people. Technical issues. I'll drop it again. That's a shake after we've got 400 odd people locked in. Shout to the moderators. See you lot working overtime. So it should be pinned now. 221 likes. We're off to a good start, and we can be off to a great start, man. He thinks Kroenke will sell next year if we flop again. Everything is possible, but I don't know, man. I don't think so. I don't think so. What do you think, bro? Don't ask me about AFTV, man. That's irrelevant. What I feel of them, Shout out to Robbie and everyone doing their thing, but we're here to talk about football. I don't care what's going on over them sides. So yeah, it's Pid now. Shout out to that, man. Shout out to that. You get me? Lichtsteiner as well. These guys in isolation, I don't have anything wrong with a David Luiz, a Lichtsteiner, a legacy signing. I think sometimes they can plug gaps. Look at Thiago Silva. The problem is you're either doing it too much or too little. There ain't really a plan, in my opinion, man. It's a bit mad. It's a bit mad in that regards, man. Shout out to you, my guy. Come on, come on. I appreciate your engagement, man, and your interactions, like with everyone. Bro, obviously, people are gonna have dead signings, and them times there was a bit different. But for me, it's just, oh, come on, man. We've spent how much money on that midfield, and we're not 30. We haven't been 30. For me, again, the biggest one is defense, because I think every team, big or small, defense makes the difference. Defense is if you stay in it. Yeah, the strikers score the goals and win you the league titles and all that stuff. But in the mid, if you can't keep clean sheets, you can't defend, you can't do F all, And I think the minimum, again, I'm not a manager or whatever, but it can't be hard to assemble a decent defense. And again, for me, I just how long before, if Saliba does play, Gabriel, Tierney, maybe even Leno, rightly or wrongly, how long before, or Partey, how long do you get peed off? Because these players are not any different. They know that it's a bit mad and whatnot. Like, how long are you gonna, if you're a centre half, an actual good centre half, and you keep looking and you're playing with crap guys, how long before you get peed off? If you're a wing and you're playing with Bellerin, with respect, how long before you get annoyed? I don't know. Because at some point, the Sakas, the Tierneys, the Gabriels, the Smith Rows, I'm not saying tomorrow or this season or maybe even in the season after that, but they're all gonna have to look at themselves and say, cool, I love the club, I like being here, I like what's going on, but it's a bit of a madness right now. You get what you pay for, and ultimately, there's just no strategy. We're just ultimately reactive in everything, man. I appreciate that, my guy. To be fair, Monreal was an underrated guy. Monreal's first couple months, he was dead, and then he came up, man. I think Monreal, that's a shrewd addition, man. I don't think that's a good example. I actually do think Petr Cech was better than people gave him credit for, and was a better signing than people gave him credit for. Fair play. We want players that want to play for the badge more. Tini, same, bro. My first priority is people that want to play for the badge. But if you can't give me that, I just need to know you're serious, because obviously that's with my fan cap. You don't have to love the club. You don't have to love me. You don't have to love the badge, kiss up the badge. Just as long as I know you're certified, you're serious, and you hold yourself serious, because that means you're going to be doing serious, you're going to be conducting yourself in a serious way. For me, when the camera's off, I'll never see these guys at London Coley. But do I get the vibe you lot are, when the cameras are off, you lot are moving serious? Probably not. Let's make the likes match the viewers, people. Smash the like button, people. It takes a second. The things that are free, people struggle to do. It is where it is, though. Where we at? We're at 267, man. We can easily get that to 300 people. Easy. What did he promise? You're going to have to scroll back. You're going to have to scroll back. We spoke about it. You know what? I'm a nice guy. If you want to know exactly what he said, then I'll drop a timestamp for you guys, man. There you go. If you want to scroll back, that's Josh from the minute 8 to 23:10. That's scroll back on the watch along, man. For me, I don't, like I said, if you're gonna do them check signings, them, it's nothing to do with our club, but them Thiago Silva signings in isolation, I don't mind it. But it goes back to, we're going for players, we're penny pinching, we're signing check on the decline. We're not considering any of these variables, and then obviously you have to put the Arsenal tax in that. No matter how good a player is, when you come into this madness, you start becoming part of the madness. Look at Partey. This is it, Sid. Look how good, Mahrez was against Man City against PSG, but them defenders put in a shift. Zinchenko came on at left back and made something happen. Van Dijk, you see, Liverpool, it's a good season that they've got fourth. Terrible when you consider they won the league last year, but considering what they've had to deal with, attack can win you games, but when you've got that mix of your attackers aren't moving 30 and your defense is a shambles, it's a bit mad, man. Mark, you've been missing for a minute still. Big up to you for returning, though. How's it going, DG? Do you think Arteta needs to get a more experienced assistance coach to help him make the right decisions? Listen, if we find anyone with experience married in with our principles, whether that's an assistant coach, a coach, if we could make some sort of performance guy who just, you know, he'll just have a conversation with Arteta and his job is just to, Arteta did this in that game, you know, we're approaching 38 games on Sunday, right? Well, it'll be 38 games. If there was a guy that was taking notes of what Arteta is doing in every game, sort of like what we're doing when we're watching young players, and then factoring in this, he needs that because, you know, self-reflection is one thing, but you also need different perspectives. And I think, let's not be naive, they probably are doing something like that, but evidently it's not to the standard that us Arsenal fans need because it's not evidently clear, man. You watching the Sunderland game, DG, it's recorded, but admittedly I've been chatting to you lot. So yeah, it starts at 4. It's on the same channel. So yeah, man, it'll get flicked on and whatnot, man. We need to bring David O'Leary back. Trust me, but he can't be the only guy in this thing because when you've got one man, it's gonna be a myth. You know, he's gonna get shrouded out by the other joke men or people that are not being serious. Thoughts on Eduardo? You know, are you talking about the Brazilian / Croatian? Unfortunate about his injury. Baller. That's when Arsenal have found, you found a Brazilian playing in Croatia, a Croatian international. You found Hileb. You know, there's ballers everywhere. You watched, you know, from he was at from he even went to Germany before he went to Rosicky was out them sides there. You knew who Rosicky was. There's ballers out there. Obviously, it's a bit harder now. If we look in France or if we look down the street, Chelsea, Spurs, the rest of them are going to look down that street because we're doing that. And we're going to do the same, you know. It's just you need a strategy and you need to move quick because one of our problems has been at times we've found the talent, but then we're holding our we're holding our hands in our pockets. We're being a bit indecisive and then time waits for no man, innit? You see what happens, man. It is what it is in that regard. It's a bit mad still. How long we give Arteta, bro? Personally, I think it can get long for Arteta, especially with the preseason thing. If he's effing about, I don't think you make it out of the new year. I think anything from September to December, bro, it could get long. So I hope for our sake as fans, it don't get to that. But yeah, man. Of course, Rob Holding is nowhere near Dyer's level, but that's a squad man. Rob Holding should be a squad man. Another Arsenal problem is we take squad players and we elevate them into positions they can't handle. You know, Giroud wasn't a bad player. Suddenly, when you look at Giroud to score you 20 league goals, you see what levels are when he should have been a plan B, a rotation man, a man that plays with other guys. This is the problem. This is the problem, you know, what other team, you know, it's suicide. It's not suicide, but it's suicide to over rely on Smith Rowe and Saka. And it's unfair on them too. We're relying on two inexperienced men, you know. Put their both games together. They career games. They ain't played too many. And for Smith Rowe, I know he's played at Huddersfield. I know he's played a couple of times in Europe and all those things for Arsenal, but they're very inexperienced and it's not fair. You know, shout out to them for what they're doing, but it's absolutely not fair, man. Should we quickly scroll over? Because, you know, I'm going to get back to your comments in a sec, people. Quick message from the sponsors and we'll get into Arteta's stuff. Shout out to everybody locked in. You can see the relevant information. Make sure you go and copy yours. But if I add this in, obviously, let's make a timestamp really quickly, people. Arteta has always spoken on these outsiders and these moles and things like that. And let's be real, you're gonna have them. People always gonna doubt you. Obviously, the way the season's been going, like us, I'm pretty sure the players, the staff, people involved have been disillusioned with what we've done on the training ground correlated to the match, what we've done in the match, what we've done in training. You've heard by not Charles Watts, but all them other guys that some people having concerns about him just simply calling a spade in press conferences and just saying we've been poor. Of course, there's going to be insiders and people who, you know, are wolves in sheep's clothing, but this is why it's important to have a collective plan. This is actually why, you know, you need an owner who cares because you can weed these things out. But, you know, I don't to a degree, these insiders, outsiders shake it all around us. You know, there are no excuses for our poor season. We keep getting this language from Arteta that if you knew if you knew what was going on, you might look at it different, or there's been some factors nobody knows about. Of course, there's probably been. Of course, there's been. There's always things. We're not at the grounds week in, week out. I mean, the training. Of course, there is. Of course, it's been hard. It's been hard to watch, but of course, it's been harsh. There's harder things. Of course, it is. But as in a horrible way, that's not fans' jobs to care. Like I said, work from Monday to Friday. All fans need to know is when you're talking in pre-conferences on the Friday, the Saturday things are correlated. And at the end of the day, we look at it and we say, if it's any of those players, you've kind of put your faith in them, really, and you've not played the game well. And for the club, they haven't weeded things out. Are they insiders, or are they people who actually think a lot like fans and it's different from you lot? And that's a problem. We all know people who go against the grain. There's an issue. Like I said, even the ex-legends who call things for what they are. You know, why do you think you don't see Omri officially working for Arsenal, Petit officially working? Because they're the ones getting onto them. You only see the ones that are happy to play both sides and whatnot. But apparently, Arteta says the big positive he will take from Arsenal's season is the way they stuck together while people inside and outside the club were trying to hurt them. That siege mentality hasn't been there well enough, you know, and that's something I thought would have fueled you lot, you know. The hurtful messages whenever you lose, the hurtful things people have painted with Arsenal. Because if you put Arsenal on a drawing board right now, indecisive, inability, overpaid, don't care, there's bare negative connective words that will get thrown. Use that to drive you, and also use that to be fearless. Because for me, if I'm stepping on a football field and I know worse comes to worse, they're going to say the same things they say every week about us. That is going to make me nervous because nobody wants to hear that. But I'm going to channel that in a positive way and almost have clarity, because it can't get any worse, really. But there's only certain things you can say, people. Scrolling down, I'm trying to see officially what he said. There's no need for the rest of the waffle. Arteta says there were a lot of things that contributed to the costly loss of form and believes that there were even people inside the club who were trying to hurt the Gunners. When asked about the positives he could take from what has been a difficult season, the best thing has been to keep a team as staff, employees, and everybody together. Has it been that? Is it that? You lot can draw that conclusion for me. In those circumstances, when you're not winning, when there are so many people, some inside and some outside trying to hurt, to keep them together and block out that and be so strong, I think that is some achievement. As normally when that happens, the cracks and everything falls out, and it didn't. I mean, it's sounding a bit Scarfacey, a bit Pablo Escobar, and that, you know, some people are trying to take me out a bit, you know, a bit paid and foolish. Like, well, you know, it's a game of football, bro. Again, I hear all of this. A lot of it makes sense. A lot of it is probably true. But again, this is no excuse for the football. Bro, this ain't got nothing to do with the problems on the football field for me. Obviously, indirectly it does. But this doesn't, you know, this is the thing where Arsenal fans need to be able to look at multiple things contributed. We all know Mesut Ozil, Mustafi, who could lose his next contract. Socrates, Kolasinac, all of these guys found a new home somewhere else, people. He did say, and he said to keep them together. When he was pressed on whether those people were trying to do the damage, who were trying to do the damage from inside the club, were still at the club, he said no. So obviously that lays blame at the face of people who have departed on loan, or maybe even Raul Sanye. There probably is people who don't believe in you. When asked to sum up his season, he said extraordinarily challenging, but incredibly stimulating. Bro, none of this could have been stimulating. How you haven't lost your hair, I don't know. You know, which may be a good thing of your temperament, maybe a bad thing. I'm extremely proud to work with the people you have next to me. That's good. This club is even bigger than I thought, and even bigger than I thought. So maybe the need to have a consistent way of playing and start the trajectory of moving forward would be a bit quicker. Like I said, we're not expecting Rome to be built in a day, but we're expecting to see a skyscraper, deliveries coming on site, early pipe work being installed. Haven't seen much of this because, again, I haven't even seen a minimum defense in that regards. There has been some improvement, but they have been minimal, overstated, and not long lasting. And they haven't, these improvements, when in time of need, whether it's been crunch time to see if we can qualify for the proper trophies mathematically, go through to the latter stages of the proper trophies, we haven't done it. So it's nice that you say the club's even bigger than you thought and all of this and stuff like that, and you want us to return to the top. But seeing is believing, and it's a big summer, as we already know, people. It's a big, 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 big summer. So that's that on what Arteta has had to say, folks. A bit underwhelming, really, for what they said. You know, how the articles built up. Well, it is what it is. Fair play, bro. The difference is like you said it there. You only find Kante, Mahrez when you've been scouting them, man, there, and you say, you know what, this man, he might be playing in this league. It might not be glamorous, but there's a trajectory there, you know, because everyone has to start off somewhere. Way before Lewandowski was a gunman for Dortmund and Germany, he had to be playing in humble beginnings in Poland. This is where, like you said, intelligence and laziness, that comes with planning, you know, that comes with actively trying to find deals. We're just looking at deals that go on our lap. It's like going on, what's that website, man? Is it Voucher or something where it's just bare random deals? That's what we're doing and just buying it, like just putting money on bare meme coins, man. It's been a bit mad. That's a bit harsh, my guy. Very harsh. Cheers, DG. Always catch up with your quality shows, but promise to tune into your live streams more often, my bro. You don't need to do that, my guy. You know, whenever you want to look at it, the content's there, man. Stuff don't die on YouTube, man. Shout out to everyone with these comments, man. Everyone's saying some smart stuff, and I'm really appreciative to share my Saturday afternoon with you guys, man. Bro, trust me, bare singing, stay scheming, man. It's just bare Pablo Escobar-ish, like Groupon and that. Trust me, Guendouzi again. That's why I want him to. I want Guendouzi to stay. So, but that's where you can make a little profit because again, Michelin had a little deal there, you know. But we've been doing some penny pinching, man. To be fair with you, when you put it like that, I get it, but it's not, you know, ability doesn't necessarily correlate to ability on the field, don't necessarily correlate to how you manage. Or, you know, Roy Keane would have probably been one of the best managers post Alex Ferguson, or Thierry Henry should be the back Pep Guardiola of things. I'm not saying these guys aren't good. I'm just saying there might be something in it. But I can't lie, a part of me does feel when you was a bit of a, you know, tie buttoned up guy, you can't really take these mavericky dons. And when you was kind of, not that there's anything wrong with being bag average, because I've seen bag average players be big reasons to win trophies. There's an issue because, again, pardon my language, but I always say, and I say it in relation to my old Sunday League team, shit managers play shit man, innit? Like, there's no coincidence, certain men, really and truly. Is what it is. Bro, bare cowboy builders. Trust me, bare cowboy builders. Man, are gonna, do you know what Arsenal do? They build up part of it, because I know this is what some of them do. They build up part of it, and then when half the job's done, just cat out, number gone, materials off, gone with the win. You know, it's crazy, man. I think Arteta, there's more to this job than we're being told. Do I think there's more problems? Of course, but you stepped in the role, and a lot of these things, a lot of these factors, a lot of these things, I look at that you are right, but there's too many questions. When I look away from Kroenke, I look away from the spending, I look away from a lot of these things. There's no reason for a lot of what you've done. Like when the variables that you can control, you've put up more questions than answers. And you know, I was riding with Arteta to the end, but I'm not calling for him to be sacked. I'm not saying he should undoubtedly stay. If he stays, bro, you got till December, and that's being nice. If you go, boy, you haven't done anything. It is what it is. But yeah, he's got to pull it out, man. There's no woe is me. Everyone has to take accountability in this football club, and they're not. Nobody's doing their job to the best of their abilities, bar the young players on the football field. And I can't lie, shout out to Mertesacker. I think he's doing a great job with the youngers and that, man. My name is DG, but I appreciate the love you have for me in Turkish and calling us the realest fans. I don't know if I am. I'm just myself. And if you like what you hear, shout out to that. I appreciate that, man. Bro, tie and button done, bro. This is it, man. You know, these are the guys, bro. This is why when I look at, I see Guendouzi getting rubbed out. I see Ozu getting rubbed out. I see the little problems with Aubameyang. I see rubbing out Saliba. Obviously, when you break them all down, it's nothing to do with that. But it just makes me think they're the man, them in it. You're the guy that when I say and get there at 6, you're all there at 4:30 and that. Like, I can see how the thing goes wrong. Where I think you need a balance. Is what it is. And this is it, bro. Sometimes scouting doesn't work. That's football, bro. Scouting does not work. Signings do not go wrong. I mean, signings go wrong, but we need an exit plan. Some man have shit signings, pardon my language, and they deal with it. We don't deal with it. We don't deal with it. You look at Bakayoko, Chelsea can make decent bread. I'm sure that Chelsea are offered decent money from AC Milan and they've got a tune. Drinkwater is just a madman. Torres, madman. Di Maria, obviously, he probably just didn't settle. But like you said, I get the point. To be fair, the young Greek lad, he was a second choice, but that is a thing. But it's about what you do with that. There's no guarantees in football. You know, you're 100% right. Oh, as much as I love Wenger, Wenger was out here saying I knew about Kante since he was 14. Psh, that's of no help to us. Like, no help at all. Oh man, shout out to my guy Monster CFC. Go and check out his channel. While he doesn't know how to pick a football team, he does know how to speak about football from a good perspective. Love for tuning in, my dude. Fulham are the best team in the world. Fair play. You're allowed to believe that. What do you think about the impressive project going on with Arteta and Edu? Something to look forward to, like trust the protest. I trust as far as I can see, because I don't have no one in this club has to a degree. I'm not gonna lie, I did used to trust an element of the unknown with Wenger. I don't, and rightly or wrongly, I don't. It's not a you don't know what's going on, but trust me thing and walking in a blind alley with these guys. You know, I don't trust them to that level. I don't. You know, they haven't earned blind trust from me. You know, I trust as far as I can see. And like I said, we don't know what's going on with the club. It's not our job. And you lot can tell me impressive project, working this, working that. When I come and see Arsenal this season, if I come and watch Arsenal next season or I'm doing my live streams, make sure we look a bit better or moving forward. Because then what could we say? If at minimum, I feel if there was a minimum DNA at this football club, like a style of play or some early building blocks, beyond fans having to cut down league tables and show me from 23 games and all of these things, I think most fans they'll still be angry, but they'd say, all right, it is what it is, cool. And I don't think that's quite the case, really and truly, which is sad as an Arsenal fan. General Arsenal thoughts. Let's call that timestamp that. And this is it. We tend to live with our mistakes instead of correcting quickly like big clubs. This is it, man. This is it. Shout out the Twitch gang as well, man. This is it, my guy. You're 100% fact. I feel like Arsenal panic under pressure. Name a calming and prosperous man at the club. Panic transfer central. Wasted money slyly, not slyly. Money's been wasted. And it's easy. And to a degree for us fans, it's lazy to just look at big money signings. It's the extension of contracts. It's the renaissance. It's the crap players being on loan. It's these sort of things as well, in my opinion. But what do I know, man? I'm just here with a humble opinion. Thanks for the content this weekend. Regular from Lagos, Nigeria. Shout out to all my Flygerians, my Nigerian ones. I appreciate you lot. Ridiculous how much you lot always come and support the thing. I appreciate that, man. Fans are deluded if they trust Kroenke. I don't think any fan does. Super chat. I'm appreciative. I'm a big fan from Canada. Big up yourself. Axel, love for that, my guy, man. And we've got we all know what somebody does when they get post nut clarity. They come and troll on YouTube channels. What a guy, man. What was that about Reece, bro? Apparently he's played 71 minutes of football in the Premier League. So again, minutes are currency, bro. That currency there is getting like Bitcoin and that in it. So you know what it is. Nowhere to go in that regards, man. I performed better under pressure on my wedding night. Big up Mark. Since the move to the Emirates, we've heard this impressive project talk. Let them talk the talk. Exactly. I'd say walk the walk, man. The time for talking is long, man. You know, Leicester don't do no talking. You see Samore out of nowhere, Fufana, boom. Like, there's no chatting. I don't want chattings. I'm tired of chatting. I'm trying to talk for a living on YouTube. How many videos are there every day? I'm tired of chattings. I just want to see slappings. It's as simple as that, man. You're right on that, though, man. Hello, DG. Much love. Thoughts on Kroenke summer plans? Is it another PR/AFC Bell? Is it another PR thing / is AFC Bell right? I don't know if AFC Bell's right, but, you know, he was right about Partey when everyone was getting onto him. So he's earned my trust. In relation to the Kroenkes, I can only go off the past, innit? Like, if somebody tells me they're a nice guy, but I look at their history and they're just punching people up for no reason, well, why am I going to sit there and expect you to be a nice guy with me? I'm going to be on guard, aren't I? So I can only go off the past. The past, you've underperformed and under-delivered, so more of the same. I hope to be wrong. I'll hold my hands up and say, you know what, fair play is what it is. Perth Glory owner in Australia has been to every game for 14 years. Obviously, mad commitment. I don't expect that from an Arsenal owner, but that's how you know. And I'm pretty sure I don't know nothing about Perth Glory, but I'm pretty sure they have some good processes, stuff like that. Man said somebody talk to Elon if you know him directly to buy Arsenal. Trust me. We need that 100%, people. But I can't lie though, man. I've been here for an hour and 14 minutes. I kind of got things to do on this Saturday, so I'm gonna have to cut it there, people. Please make sure you've hit the like button. Obviously, I'll be back tomorrow for the watch along and obviously the live reaction stream, people. So yeah, man, take that one in. I know the pin message done you lot a bit dirty, so I'll drop it in here again. And yeah, man, we're gonna have to love and leave you lot, really. Let me get the live reaction the live reaction link as well. Because I know I have not sent that once in this. So yeah, people, man, it is what it is in that regards. I get Flamini and Elon Musk, man. Simple as that, really and truly, my dude. So yeah, that's the links to the things, them. You know, I appreciate that, Emmanuel. I appreciate that. Gonna leave you with a message from my sponsors and then let you lot enjoy what's left of your Saturday.